This motherboard is not meant to be used as a desktop computer, but that doesn't stop me from trying anyway. The vendor, CAIXUNI, told me that this is for point-of-sale systems, factories, and vending machines. Therefore, it does have connectors for things I have no idea about. Meanwhile, it does have an interesting CPU at a very attractive price point. This cost me $124 and has i3-1215U as its CPU. This was sourced from Alibaba. There are similar boards out there, but this is the cheapest. Looking at the motherboard itself, I see a single NVMe M.2 slot, and I see some things. I think I see a Wi-Fi key slot, as well as a SIM card slot for cellular internet probably. And I think I see a B key M.2, which is for SATA M.2 drives, although I am not 100% sure. Moving on, i3-1215U is a very decent CPU for its class. It has 2 P cores and 4 E cores. This CPU is essentially a mix of G7400 and N100 CPUs mixed together. In addition to that, it has 64 EU for iGPU, which is twice more than UHD 770's 32 EU found on desktop chips. This CPU is far superior compared to, say, N100 or even N305, which has 8 E cores. Nothing much to see from the BIOS screen. It does confirm the CPU, and it has TPM2, which means you can install Windows 11. Interestingly, the CPU fan is pretty quiet for an industrial motherboard. Its max RPM is 3000, with 1700 RPM being minimum. 1 or 2 low noise adapters will make the fan completely silent. Well, I am going to install Windows and see how that goes. The iGPU is crap, not useful for gaming at all, so let's forget about that. Meanwhile, the CPU score is pretty impressive. This CPU is twice faster than N100. If you want a bit more oomph than N100, this CPU is the one to go after. N305 is much more expensive for no apparent reason to even consider. C states rarely works on Chinese motherboards, and this motherboard is not an exception. I am seeing about 21 watts in idle and 55 watts at full load. One thing to note is that the CPU did enter PL2 value for few tens of seconds before entering PL1 value. That's good, because that's how it is supposed to work. Oftentimes, Chinese motherboards will outright ignore PL values and just boost as high as possible. That's how you kill CPUs. Moving on, I did have a problem with the motherboard. I could not get the audio working on Windows 11. I even asked the vendor to provide me with the exact chip model for the audio, and downloaded a proper driver from manufacturer's website, but it still did not work. Thankfully, audio worked in Unix Mint out of the box. Thank God for that, since I plan to use this motherboard for a media PC with Unix Mint. Overall, I do very much like this motherboard, especially for its CPU. The 2 P cores make so much difference that it's not even funny. As I said before, the CPU is a mix of G7400 and N100 CPUs, and the motherboard itself is almost as cheap as those with just a N100 CPU. If you look up the price of G7400 CPU, you will see how cheap this motherboard is. And about the B key M.2 slot, SATA M.2 drive didn't work on it, and I tried 3 drives, so I have no idea what it is for. I did see the drives being powered on, but neither BIOS nor Windows detected it. The length is odd as well. The screw meant for the slot is odd. If M2250 existed, it'd fit there. It's obviously for something. I just don't know what. Actually, after some Google researching, it looks like there is a module for this mysterious M.2B key slot. It's for 4G or 5G network module. I am assuming here that you need the network card in addition to a SIM card, which can be inserted right below the B key slot. I haven't mentioned this yet, but this motherboard is powered by DC. It accepts both 12 volts and 19 volts. I am using 12 volts in this video. 90 watts AC to DC adapter will be more than enough for this. The DC barrel diameter is 5.5 millimeters. For low power builds, using DC is cleaner overall with less cables and less noise. And with just one SATA port and one M.2 slot, the storage options are very limited, but it could have been worse. A SATA power out cable is included in the package, so you don't need to worry about that. There is also USB 2 and 3 internal ports, along with an extra 4-pin fan header, meaning this motherboard has almost everything you need to set up a pretty decent office or media PC. It was a bit of a gamble, but I think it paid off. I've got myself a pretty decent ITX motherboard with a decent CPU. Thank you for watching and see you next time. By the way, I've added the BIOS screen part with normal speed at the end of the video soon after this for those who wish to watch it.